Alright, I'm going to attempt to do this video probably in two different sections. The first is I'm just going to talk about what it is I'm here to talk about today. So, I have been, as I've been saying, on a healing journey, and I had really felt due to a series of dreams I've had and circumstances that I needed to go to Hawaii, and basically I listened to that inner voice and I came to Hawaii, and as of Wednesday my diagnosis is no longer a massive mystery, and up until now that's kind of the story. It's been sort of a massive mystery since about 2008. I have been being watched, and there was talk, concern, and an obvious reason for lymphoma, but the issue being I had the workup in 2008, and a workup is something when you have a process like cancer happening, is where they classify and categorize your cancer type. And so you would think that I had my cancer type at that time categorized and classified in some way or another during a workup. That it wouldn't be such a mystery, but really that wasn't my story. It continued to be a mystery. And then in about 2017, I started losing weight, and like all women everywhere, I want to look like I'm cute and sexy, right? Because that's what we're told we're supposed to look like. And so, initially in 2017, when I saw the whale in Maui, the whale that came up and looked me in the eye, both on the right side first and then the left side second, which just takes me right into a beautiful story. Until then, maybe I wasn't ready to do the work that it's going to take for my healing. And there was no doctor either that was ready to listen to me enough to help me heal. And I for the last couple of days, I learned on Wednesday kind of my reality. And for the last couple of days, I've been rather upset. And so, coming and doing a podcast, I would have looked like a growling, raveling dog. Because really I've been fairly upset to learn that basically when I told the doctors that I didn't feel like they were quite understanding my issues, and they would tell me that perhaps I could use a little bit of therapy, maybe that's not the worst thing that could have happened, for sure, but it wasn't an effective use of my money or time. And I'm no longer taking those bags of garbage from anybody. So, for a couple of days now, I've been feeling pretty angry with the medical community. Not because any one person did anything wrong, but because it is a system that's set up to not bother to hear our voices. And I can completely understand at this point with my circumstances, and is that my body, I knew that there was something wrong with my body. And I know of other people that are broke or it doesn't matter in the United States of America what your story is, why your story is what it is. If you have low income and have no insurance, there is no doctor in the world that can help you, I don't think. I think that is just off the menu, part one. And I'm sad, rather, to say that, but, that's how I feel. That doesn't make it so. I want to make that clear, because there are probably people that's not their story. But there are plenty of us girls that are essentially, more of the variety that it's easy to say no to us, and it's easy for us to say, oh, okay, and walk away. But it's us girls that have been harmed, and that our gut has been telling the truth the whole time, that I'm going to do this video for today. So I basically have been in and out of kind of a dreamy state. Body has been so sick. They can't do treatment on me right now because they have to bring some particular levels in my body under control. When they removed my thyroid back in 2002, it was removed due to what was called a hyperplastic tumor that from the beginning was misclassified. And while under anesthesia, I pointed out that I felt like they'd made a horrible mistake by leaving a lymph node. And although I don't recall the details, my loved ones have mentioned this to me over time. And at any rate, it wasn't terribly long into post-thyroidectomy, so I have no thyroid, that my medication was always kind of a difficult dance for the endocrinologist. I wasn't exactly somebody you could just give this or that pill to and things would go fine. I ended up needing a name brand only medication that basically at one point wasn't even available. It just has been a rather strange dance with this process. So I had mentioned maybe, you know, a few years into the situation that I felt like I had some thyroid that I shouldn't have. I shouldn't be producing thyroid. And I was told, you know, they did an ultrasound on me, which is good. That's part of their job. They did that. And then I was told, you know, this is something that never happens. Please stop being concerned about this. But I always had it in the back of my mind. They'd left that lymph node in, and it was 1.5 centimeters in my cervical node. I just didn't think that was right. And, well, so time would go on, and I was at a dose, and the endocrinologist would say, well, at minimum you need this, but your body seems to metabolate what you need at this dose. So my dose was lowered. And after my dose was lowered, I go along, and my levels seem okay, and about, you know, 2017, as I said, when the whale popped up, I was losing weight, and I felt like, oh boy, you know, I'm going to look like fit again. You know, that's lovely. Well, I didn't know that I was going to go from 196 pounds to, I'm sporting 95 pounds right now. So that's a whole person's worth of weight, and you know, what an amazing change. And I've had doctors adjust my thyroid levels downward, but because my medical care in some ways has been spotty, by my own doing, I want to say, because I you know, to be fair to myself and to the world, I don't want to be a liar. But by my own doing, you know, at times I haven't really stayed on top of what my gut was telling me. And I'm saying this so that all of you everywhere that do watch my videos, that you really tune into your gut, because it is your best guide. At any rate, so we move on, and you know, and here and there and everywhere. And last year, my dose went from 112s down to 100s. Now I'm down to 88s, and we're looking to bring me down again another 12.5 micrograms, because this is not a situation where you can drop your dose terribly fast. What I have causes me to have what's called thyroid storms. And if you read about a thyroid storm, it's kind of crazy what I've been going through. My family has been through a good deal, trying to understand and support me. And to discover that me being in the broiling bay, as I've discussed in a previous video, would be, you know, that I felt uncomfortable and I didn't like it, and to learn that my body, in fact, has been a broiling bay, that is the truth of my soul right now, was rather shocking. And as I said, it took me a couple of days to emotionally pick myself up off the floor. So, because it's very disappointing to find out that something you've been saying all along is really true. And what it was that I was saying is I thought that I was, in fact, had grown something that was throwing thyroid hormone. And right now, my body, my labs say exactly that. And what they're trying to figure out is how am I throwing thyroid hormone? It has leached my bones. I've been walking around for the last year with a broken arm. It's something when you have it, if your husband says hi and you're not in the mood to hear it, it's like fingernails on a chalkboard, and it's been difficult for him while my body is so sick to have me be so having such a need for emotional and physical space, which I'm going to say he has provided me, and I'm grateful. I'm not, in some ways I'm looking at myself and what I know about my medical condition, and I'm just amazed that I made it to this point, but I did. What I have is so rare that maybe there's 22 of us in all documented history that have ever had it. And I do want to say that if you're a medical professional and you are looking to contact me and you want to talk about this for research, I would strongly recommend that that's not where I'm at and not what I'm willing to do at this point. I have my own medical team that's going to be working with me, and all things will stay therein. I feel that I need to emotionally protect my own core, and that's exactly what I'm going to do. So with that being said, today I'm sitting over in a little park, and as you can see, the ocean is behind me in a lovely little area, and I woke up today. Today's a new day. And I think I'm just going to pull cards, and I'm going to set my camera up. So I'm going to stop the camera, and I'm going to reset it up, because I don't know why, but I don't know how to use my stuff and preview and all that. I don't know how to use it. So it just isn't happening. But I know that when I've been doing my readings that my cards haven't exactly been showing. So what I'm going to do is turn it off, start it up again, so that I actually capture what I need to capture. So we'll go ahead and do that. Okay, I think I got it. All right, so I'm going to shuffle 3 times. So 1, 2, and 3. Okay, and then I'm going to spread them out, and hopefully you can see this, and I'm going to just go ahead and let my hands go. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, and I'm going to cut 3 times. 1, 2, and 3, and this is just a general follow the energy reading. Okay, yep, I'm in a tower moment, and that is the truth, and that is my foundation, that I'm operating now from the perspective of I have to rethink what's happening. I have to rethink my truths. You know, it's shocking to find out that you went to the doctor and the doctor said no more monkeys jumping on the bed, and you don't jump, and you find out you're getting hit in the head, you know, by something that's maybe even from your own body. It's a betrayal, and it's not a comfortable moment, not at all. But you know, you have to see the small things in life. And for me right now, I'm learning to be thankful just for getting something done before I forget I need to do it. So that is one of my moments right now. Being grateful for the small things. This is my foundation. Basically, I then get another major arcana, the Wheel of Fortune. This is basically, life is what I weave it to be. The threads, the clothes I wear, the bones and cloth of my soul. It is what I've made it. It is not something anyone has done to me or for me. It is because I am the conductor of my own soul, as we all are. And that's a huge responsibility. That, in lots of ways, I think my story kind of speaks to the fact that maybe we're not that educated. Maybe even our medical doctors are not that educated, because we're not taught to listen to our inner voice. And that inner voice is a powerful one. And what are you weaving to hear your inner voice? Okay? Then we move on. I have a Queen of Wands, that fiery energy. Boy, do I have it. I'm Sag rising. I'm 7 points in fire. And I can get pretty hot and bothered. And by the astrology methods that we use, there's 14 points total possible. And I land squarely in 2 areas that are really hefty, and that is what I think about, and the fire in my belly, to make sure other people realize it. So I can be a bit of a spouter, if you will, but I'm a whale, and I'm singing my whale song, and it's time for me to sing my whale song, because we're in trouble. Our relationships are in trouble. This being the anchor card, it lines out with the Tower. Basically, the whole reading, the Tower is going on, and we are all experiencing, in many respects, a relationship upgrade, okay? How we interact. And, you know, most of us, all of us, myself included, I have relationships right now that are in a shamble. I don't know what to do. Guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to let go and let the universe, because what else can I do? What else can I do? And we spend a lot of time being hard on ourselves about things that maybe we don't even have control over. And so I say, practice letting go, and if you will, let God, for your own mental health. We live in a time like no other, and maybe there is no controlling this big old wheel that's turning on us at this time, that wheel of fortune. Maybe there is no easy way through this at this time. Maybe we do have to become the fire of our own souls, become the mother of our own lives, and do something about our energy and our relationships, if we can. But who it starts with is yourself. If you don't heal you, you're not going to be able to heal anyone. So do your personal work. That's where it starts. And with that, something new will develop. And something new is already developing. How many of us have felt so uncomfortable during this massive time of change under the restrictions of COVID? Who has not felt just like, yuck, you know, sign me up and sign me out? You know, it's not helped me any, I can tell you that. And then feeling like I'm not being heard, and a number of other things. Well, you know, the consequences to my body were pretty severe. But do keep in mind that at the entire time, I'm making choices to do things the way I'm doing them. So at no time in my story, even if I feel victimized, I victimized myself. It took me a few years to grow up enough to see myself and to do my work. And I have more to do. So, you know, we're never finished. We're never done. And if you're alive and you're breathing, you're working, and you should be, okay? And then we have a 6 of Cups, because at the end of the day, it's about contracts and agreements with the people you love. And it isn't about whether or not you have a nice house, or you drive a nice car, or you do fancy vacations. And I assure you that although I'm here in Hawaii, and it is dreamy, and I am abundantly grateful, I am not here in Hawaii because of the dreamy type of energy. I actually came here because there was a doctor here that practiced medicine from a barefoot perspective, and that doctor called my name. I could hear the whispers, and I followed that calling. I came to where she is, and she is now providing my care. And because I listened to my gut, I'm getting what I need. You know, let that stand. Let that be clear, that when we start listening to ourselves, our needs begin to be met, because nobody can fix you. Only you can fix you. And so go to www.twiggy.com, and I spell it out because there's a couple of different Twiggy spellings. But we have numerology, we have astrology. One report that I myself used the other day that I kind of find delightful is the chakra report, because you might know that I tend to wear a lot of beads and things on my body. I tend to wear things. Why? Not because I'm trying to advertise or sell anything. I wear them because I personally need the extra support in my chakras. You know, not everything in my body is well and right, and not everything in my chakra is well and right, and I'm trying to do something about that. So I wear different things to balance my energy, to help me get connected and rooted, and to stay connected and rooted. And you know, in the chakra report, you have positive things and you have negative things in your energy, and it's just a real quick snapshot into seeing how it may really be for you. And with that, I thank you for joining myself. Please do join my lovely co-reader and myself, Pearl Rowland, over on Twiggy.com. And as I said, check out our reports. And as I'm saying on a regular basis, if you need something, it's quick, it's something that is easy for us, and that we can provide you a quick answer. You know, we're interested. We want to see people moving forward. This is about us all kind of moving to the same drumbeat and swimming to the same tunes, and not in a way that's controlling, but a way that frees us to be the human spirited souls we are. And with that, I thank you very much for joining me here today.